NCIS has been around for ages, like it's been decades since the first show aired, and it's still not showing any signs of slowing down. But in all this time, the showrunners have to work hard to keep things interesting, and it seems like they're planning for a three-way crossover in January to give the fans something to look forward to. But who is going to be in it? Let's find out. Starting with the crossover news, NCIS will kick off the new year with a huge three-way crossover. Starting with the crossover news, since its 2003 debut on CBS, NCIS has consistently ranked as one of the network's top shows. Although it originated as a JAG offshoot, the show is now well recognized as its entity. NCIS now features two spin-off series, one in Los Angeles and one in Hawaii. We had been hearing many rumors about the weird and unusual union of the three series, but it was just that, rumors, so we weren't sure if it was the fans making things up. But just recently, it has now been verified, and we're super amped to see how they'll bring all three of them together. According to sources, the 3-hour crossover event will include the popular NCIS series. As CBS puts it, this is the long-awaited first-ever NCISverse crossover, and it all begins on January 2nd at 8 p.m. EST with the original NCIS episode Too Many Cooks, and continues with the NCIS Hawaii episode Deepfake, and ends with the NCIS Los Angeles episode A Long Time Coming. Wow, they have thought this through, and we can't wait to see how it turns out. Hold up though, we understand that there are not many details, so stay tuned as we cover more about what you can expect from the crossover. Let's talk more about the crossover details. The Hitman murder case will be at the heart of the crossover. In honor of an FLETC, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, professor who has educated many members of each NCIS squad, the whole organization will assemble in the nation's capital. Before the main event begins, things go a little haywire. When the professor's body is discovered, apparently a suicide, on the eve of the party, his former pupils instantly suspect foul play. The teams will have to look into that professor's death while in DC for the party. In the wake of this, the abduction of major characters like Sam, LL Cool J, would increase the tension on NCIS Hawaii. The mystery of suicide is the thread that ties everything together. And wait, there's a spoiler ahead, so proceed with caution. So we find out that finally, the trilogy will come to a satisfying close on NCIS Los Angeles when it is revealed that a hitman is trying to murder each crew member, and that the bounties total $200,000. Moving on, some familiar faces for the crossover. Gary Cole, Wilmer Valderrama, Chris O'Donnell, Vanessa Leahy, and Yasmin Al-Bustami are some NCIS actors that will appear in the crossover. There will be one representative from each program present. There have been several crossovers within the NCIS canon, but the January event will be the first time all three programs have interconnected on such a grand scale. While the original NCIS has struggled since Mark Harmon's high-profile departure as Gibbs, this crossover event might signal a change in direction for the show. If the crossover does well in the ratings, CBS may start doing more elaborate crossovers, like the one seen on NBC's Law & Order. At least for the first one, the authors have opted for a strong procedural approach. Make the case known to the heroes, make it personal, and see how that changes the equation. The audience's preconceptions about the NCIS characters could be challenged. Sounds like a great plan to us. Up next, let's go over the 5 best NCIS crossovers of all time. First up at number 5, the one where they go to New Orleans. According to Entertainment Weekly, in the second half of the episode Pandora's Box, agents Timothy McGee, Sean Murray, and Nick Torres, Wilmer Valderrama, travel from Washington, D.C. to the city known as the birthplace of jazz to track down the hacker responsible for the hacks on Homeland Security. The quest, however, is more difficult than expected since it is Mardi Gras and everyone is wearing a mask. With the help of her team in New Orleans, Special Agent Tammy Gregorio, Vanessa Ferlito, poses as a buyer to meet the seller, who turns out to be Russian sleeper agent Ava Azarova from the last crossover between NCIS and NCIS New Orleans. A tense confrontation ensues from the get-go and continues to Ava's hotel room. Gregorio beats Ava at her own game, but then 2 masked gunmen burst in, abduct Torres, and make off with the laptop holding the playbook. After being abducted from her family and trained as a spy by a Russian agent, Ava discloses that the playbook thief is a guy called Vic Victor. She's out for vengeance and is willing to exchange herself for Torres to make it happen. So McGee and the club negotiated a trade. While searching for Torres, Ava murders Victor. Ava is incarcerated, but she promises Gregorio it was all worth it. It would seem that cold retribution is the most satisfying. Following up at number 4, the Pride and LaSalle one. Next on our list, we have a two-part crossover between the original NCIS and the New Orleans spin-off NCIS New Orleans. According to Entertainment Weekly, Dwayne Pride, Scott Bakula, and Christopher LaSalle, Lucas Black, from New Orleans, made an appearance on the parent show in the first part of Pandora's Box to aid Homeland Security in tracking down the hacker who stole the agency's entire terror attack response playbook. Homeland Security had created a fake terror assault to gauge police readiness before discovering they'd been hacked. The incident was faked by releasing balloons, purportedly packed with sarin gas and tethered to phony explosives. One of the Homeland think tank operators blew up a Bosnian diplomat's parents' house and then delivered actual gas and bombs to the diplomat's VIP box as payback. That's when the think tank figures out that there's enough gas to kill hundreds of people. After video chatting with the team, Pride and LaSalle discover that the hacker who stole the terror response playbook also fabricated information concerning sarin to deceive the think tank into staging an assault of the kind they carried out. Who then is this unknown computer thief? You might want to watch and catch up. Next, at number 3, the hilarious one. This was a terrific episode. A lot of great lines of humor were said in this episode, and the dialogue was a major reason for it. The story was engaging, and the characters added a lot of humor. In the crossover episode of NCIS, we see Tony DiNozzo traveling from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles to pick up a prisoner he is responsible for transporting. Unfortunately for DiNozzo, the prisoner eluded the air marshal on the flight and was never apprehended. He needed assistance, so he went to the NCIS headquarters in Los Angeles. Tony then meets the rest of the NCIS LA crew, some of whom are fond of him. Sam and Deeks dislike Tony in particular. He irritates Sam and makes Deeks envious of his relationship with Kenzie. Along the way, they find the missing prisoner, a Singaporean guy called Rio, who turns out to be a fascinating character. He was a funny guy. The moments, on the whole, impressed us with their intensity. Some claimed they didn't exploit Tony's looks as much as they might have, particularly in the beginning. However, it was only a minor hiccup in an otherwise excellent episode. By the end of the hour, we were in fits of laughter and agreed that this had been one of the funniest episodes we had seen in a long time, if not ever. Not to forget the one with Scorpion. Hedy Lang, the operations manager on NCIS Los Angeles, portrayed by Linda Hunt, guest starred in an episode of the CBS drama Scorpion in 2014. This program is not canon in the NCIS world. Walter O'Brien, Els Gable, leads a group of socially inept savants in the Scorpion episode, in which they raid a Halloween party to retrieve valuable artwork. According to Entertainment Weekly, Lang joins the squad to assist with covert operations. NCIS Los Angeles fans were thrilled by Lang's appearance. In addition, fans have pointed out a plot flaw, as reported by Express. In Scorpion, Robert Patrick portrays the American secret agent Cabe Gallo. However, in 2009, the guest starred on NCIS as Colonel Merton Bell, who unfortunately met his end in that episode. The article pondered, if Scorpion existed in the same reality as NCIS, how was this late colonel reappearing as a special agent some years later? Finally, at number 1, Killshot. This one confused the fans. Some thought it made the plot even more interesting, while others were confused that the episode had too many connections to follow. So here's how it goes. Director Vance is involved in a case explored in the first episode of NCIS Los Angeles, titled Killshot. When a jet skiing scientist is shot dead, all signs point to Lee Wan-Kay, a shooter Vance has been hunting for years. Vance recruits Abby Sciuto to accompany him on the inquiry. That's a wrap for this video. Are you excited about this crossover coming ahead? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.